Welcome to 2024 Our Story, a podcast exploring what it's like to be attending Scripps College in a moment when the world is recovering from a global pandemic.
I'm Ellen.
And I'm Alyssa.
And it's been officially a month since we got here to Scripps College, which is kind of insane. But a large part of that month has been meeting people. And so today, Alyssa and I wanted to talk about what it's been like meeting people in person that we met online or whose faces we saw online.
Yeah, it's super different.
Yeah, we've talked about this. I think we've talked about this in the Making Friends episode that we published in season 1 or last year.
Was it us kind of thinking about what it would be like?
I think so.
Does that mean we get to see if we're right?
Oh my gosh, I didn't even think about that.
I love that.
We get to fact check ourselves. So, Alyssa, who was the first person that you met that you saw online, that you met in person?
You.
I hope it was me. I was going to be like, did you meet someone else before me?
No, you. It's just by chance that Ellen and I live relatively close to each other. So it was pretty easy to meet in person, which was super fun. I don't remember when did we meet first in person?
I think we met spring semester, middle of spring semester.
Was it when we went on a picnic?
No. Did we go on a picnic? I thought that it was the Stanford shopping mall.
Oh, I think you're right. Right. We met in the middle.
Yeah, because I remember we went.
Was that when it was super hot?
No,
that was the second.
Yeah, the Stanford shopping mall has a special place in our friendship. If you all can't tell,
where I was complaining about the heat, and it was probably like 90 degrees, and now we're here when sometimes there are multiple days where it's 100 degrees. So
I know, but look at you,
growth, character growth.
I know, I'm so proud of you.
Yeah.
You just go out into the heat now. You're like, okay, let's do this. And you just walk out.
I was so scared. I remember telling Ellen, I was like, I don't know if I can live like this. And I was so concerned, but we did it. We're here, so it's fine.
You've survived so far. So that implies you can survive for the next 3 months.
Yay. And then the next 3 years.
Yay! Unless you study abroad, in which case maybe you go to somewhere that doesn't have such high temperatures, or you go somewhere that has even higher temperatures.
Yeah, no. I think I should cap it at 100. I think triple digits is a good place to kind of set that barrier.
That's a good point. That is a good point.
But now that we've talked about the weather, always a good conversation starter, a classic, if you will.
Mm-hmm. That's a good way to make friends. To start this.
Yeah.
I have not had any how's the weather conversations with people here though.
I don't think I say how's the weather. I just start commenting on how hot it is.
That's true. I probably have done that and I just can't remember when it was.
Oh,
but
well.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get back. So the first person I met was also Alyssa. Why did we schedule a meetup? Because to be friends.
Yes, to be friends.
Okay, but once we got here, after we got here and you were able to meet other people, who was the first person you saw who you recognized from online?
I'm really trying very hard to remember right now. I'm trying really hard. I remember seeing Jenny, I think when she was moving in. Yeah. She had a mask on, so I was pretty impressed with myself that I was able to recognize her.
Yeah.
So Jenny and I were in a study group for bio together, so I think she was the first person that I met. And it was nice. She was in a rush, so it was kind of like a stop and go situation, but that's okay. Yeah, I think I don't know. People are the height thing.
The height thing. We have to talk about the height thing. Okay. Heights. People give off height energy.
They do.
Which is the thing. When you're online, you think people are going to be a certain height. Like one of my friends' name's Susan, and she was in my Asian American sponsor group at last year. And to be fair, we did a whole activity where how tall do you think that person is?
Really?
Yeah, we did.
That's actually so much fun.
I know, we did an activity and we were I think everyone thought I was taller than I was.
You do give off tall person energy, Ellen.
I give off
do.
tall person energy.
Or taller person energy.
Maybe it's because I was tall in elementary school and then everyone else shot up in middle school.
Maybe the
and
personality was
the
just
personality
set.
set in fifth grade.
It was just set when you were tall.
I need to show you the photos of me from 5th grade because literally I'm at least a foot taller than every guy in my class.
I would love to see those pictures.
Oh
That's so adorable.
Those are the good old days. Now my friends who were there when I was taller than them just look down at me and go,
yeah,
do you
that's
remember
not
when
fun.
I was
In middle
taller
school, I was taller than like 2 of my closest friends, and now they're both super tall.
Rude.
And I know it is rude. How dare they?
Like they have control over that.
Exactly. They do.
What is up with that? They're just Anyways, I thought Susan was shorter than she was.
Really?
Which I don't know. I think it's also how you sit compared to the Zoom, like to the computer. Like Susan always sat extremely close to the computer. We had this conversation. She like her entire face took up the screen. So we all thought she was shorter. But I don't know if that really correlates. It correlated in my mind that she would be shorter because her face was closer to the screen. But in general, now that I say that out loud, it literally makes no sense.
No, I think that confused me too. Don't even worry about it. Well, people just sit differently on Zoom.
They do.
You know?
Yeah. But in general, I feel like people are like my height, which is good. I don't feel extremely short and I don't feel extremely tall. That
is what surprised me. I don't know why, but I thought, I am just 1 inch shorter than the average women's height, I think.
That's true. I am the average woman's height.
Yeah. So you know what? We can't all be the average woman's height. So you know what, Ellen? That's fine.
Well, just to give a reference to everyone, Alyssa, so they don't think I'm like some shorty.
True. But people here are pretty much around my height. And I did not think that would happen because I feel like at home I am pretty short.
Maybe we just live in an area where people are abnormally tall.
Maybe.
But I don't think we do.
No, because some people at like the 5Cs are ridiculously tall. And it's kind of funny when you like see them walking around, their head just kind of like pops up over everybody else's.
We've had this conversation before. I think we have.
Recorded?
Well, no, not recorded, but we've had it individually, personally.
You see, that's the great thing about sometimes not remembering things super well, because you get to just relive these experiences, and I get to have conversations with you over and over again.
We remake the conversations each time it's new. You gotta appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you don't completely remember it, because I feel like that would be really irritating to have to rehab.
I remember every single detail of every conversation, Alyssa.
Oh, well,
then
that's on you.
Rude.
You can tell me.
Okay.
There's gotta be communication. You gotta be like, we've had this conversation.
That's a good point.
You know, but hey, at least I can rewatch movies, not remembering anything about the movie, even though I've already seen it.
Yeah. I mean,
it's efficient.
I can
rewatch movies instead of having to like if I already own the movie, I can just rewatch it. I don't have to buy another one to
Your life is always interesting. You always have something new, even if it's not new.
I love the positive spins on this. Yes. This is the one moment where she's not teasing me about my memory. So I'm glad that we have this recorded. I'd like it to be on the record that Ellen is fine with me not having the best memory sometimes.
Yeah, our other friend, though, on the other hand, the two of them combined can't deal with that.
No, it's fine. You just have to get on our level.
Sure. Were there any surprises for you in terms of height for people?
Not really. I feel like I already talked to people about their height.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I have my friends are pretty much all my height, which I think is kind of funny. It's either that or I'm a little bit shorter. 2 inches shorter than people, which is fine, Yeah. Because I feel like a lot of my friends are taller than me.
Really? You feel shorter than them. Do you feel shorter than them? Or is it just like if you look at each other and pay attention to height?
Yeah, if I pay attention, and then some days I will think about the fact that taller people, when they're talking to me, they're just looking at my forehead. And that thought is very uncomfortable for me, and I don't appreciate it.
I feel like the other thing that we we've talked about when we were online was what it was going to be like to see people, to like make friends, but to have followed people on Instagram, but never have actually talked to them.
I
And
have
then-
comments. I thought about this.
You have? Okay, fill me in.
I have like seen kind of, there's like, I don't know, I just feel like there's like a lot of people who are super active online and stuff. And then oddly enough, you just like, I don't know, some people who are active online, like I just don't see them around as much in person, which I think is really interesting because I feel like you would think that those are the people like who are outgoing kind of enough to like go and do all the things and like join stuff. And oddly, that's not the case. And I feel like people who are more on the quiet side, especially like being online, because I don't usually like go, like I wouldn't go on like the huge group me for like our class or something and just start talking about random things. So I feel like oddly, those like quieter people are more involved sometimes, not like more because they're quiet, but just like that presence is there a little bit more than I thought it would be.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know if this is necessarily true for everyone, but I feel like there's this specialization in whether people are more active online or in person. Like you see people who weren't, you like didn't necessarily see online all the time during virtual school come here and be involved in so many different things, and you constantly see them around. It's like, it's amazing how personally involved they are when they're in person versus just like sitting back in the back seat while online.
And I've heard people kind of talk about this, but like they have talked kind of about their like there's like an online world almost, and it's different from the one that's like in person too, like just reading kind of how people interact still on like the group me and stuff, like it's less like there's just very few people using it and stuff, because people are more in person. But then maybe it makes it a little bit more difficult for those who are more comfortable being online, and that's how they reach out to people, and that's how they've like kind of adapted to reaching out to people because of like how much we were online. So I just think it's interesting that like now everybody kind of has to relearn how they interact with people and how they meet people. You can comment on people's Instagrams and things like that, but not really know them. And in person, you may not feel as comfortable like just going up to them and talking to them. So it really is. It's like its own world, and that's fine in some cases, but it's just really hard to like have that translation to being in person and like meeting people. And like I didn't think I'd go and try meeting people as much, but I did, which is crazy.
Yeah, you really went out there. I'm really proud of you.
You too. Because I think it's because we're like involved in stuff and we're kind of like trying to meet people, and I feel like that's good. Good job, Ellen.
Good job, Alyssa. Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I think it's so interesting to look at how you made friends online versus how you make them here. And I think over a year of having to be online and not meeting anyone, I got really good at like making friends online through breakout rooms because I just talked and made other people talk. And when you get here, people are more willing to talk.
Yeah, not as much like pushing them.
Yeah.
To kind of also have that social interaction.
Yeah.
I do think there's something similar though. Like you and I have already talked about this multiple times. My bad to people who've had to listen to us talk about it multiple times. But making a schedule kind of and like making the effort to talk to people, like that's still prevalent in person, like I will have weekends where I just like really feel like I need to be by myself, but I also kind of have that FOMO, so it like kind of pushes me to like make sure that I make time to like see people and see my friends and stuff. But there is that kind of like scheduling. If I think a lot of, I don't know how everybody else feels, but I do think like sometimes I feel like if I'm not present in people's lives, especially like right now, it's like every day. It's like if you're not with somebody for like a week, it feels like a long time, and if you're not present, it almost feels like that connection is like lost more. And I didn't feel that as much like online, but still there's like that scheduling. Like you do still have to like keep up that schedule of like seeing people and making that time, you know. They probably wouldn't have talked to you as much, and we probably wouldn't have been as close if we weren't like, hey, let's make sure that we meet once a week or every
That's
other
true.
week or something.
Yeah, and I mean, we're still doing that. We're still like setting aside an hour each week to do something together.
Yeah.
Which is nice. So, you know, the parallels between virtual and reality kind of merge and blend into each other at this point. How about, I know that there were people who I was like, oh, we should totally meet up. And then I like see them around campus and I'm like, is that the person who I think I'm thinking about? But I'm too shy to actually go up and say anything.
You're like, you mean you met them online?
Yes.
And you haven't met them in person yet?
Yes.
I did not meet people online, so I don't have that same feeling. But I do think like that could be a little awkward because I'm really bad with names and faces right now because of Zoom.
That's true. It's hard to keep track of everyone.
Yeah. Is that kind of why you feel like you're not sure?
I know who
or...
I know the face and the name. I just don't know if it's the right face and name.
Oh, like what you talked with them about?
Yeah.
Oh.
So I'm like, wait, should I go say hi or should I just like leave it? Because sometimes you're just like passing someone at a lot or you're like in the dining hall and you're like, you look familiar.
Well, people are really nice here, so I feel like even just being like, if you do happen to make eye contact, just like saying hi in general is a great place to start.
That's true.
You know, and that's not weird. I feel like people here, especially the first week of school, everybody, when you would pass them, everybody would say hi. Everyone would smile and say hi.
Yeah, I feel like that's kept up too. It's not like people are like, don't say hi to me
like
anymore.
a little bit less because people are
That's
busy.
true.
They've got places to go. Ellen, when she's walking, she's the most on the go person you'll ever see. She's always on a mission.
I've been told by at least 5 people now that I walk with purpose.
Yes.
Which I mean is how I identify.
She does. She walks as fast as I do, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I walk. My friends just don't have as long of legs as I do. And sometimes I'll just walk and I forget that I'm walking with them. This sounds really bad. But I just walk ahead and then they're like, Ellen,
so determined.
I know where I'm going. If you were to tell me that we're just like wandering around, then I'll walk slower because I don't know what the group's doing. But if I know where I'm going,
does that mean you like those kinds of walks or not? Like just like being like, let's go on a walk.
You know, I thought it was okay. I went with a few of my friends on last Saturday, and that was okay. We like just wandered. We were playing music too, so that was like,
oh, that's
fun.
nice.
You're like,
yeah,
you know.
I went on some walks with my friends.
Do you enjoy the random walks, or do you enjoy knowing where you're going?
It depends on what I'm doing. Like if my schedule. Like if I have something after, I'm gonna get nervous about the time. Then I don't like wandering as much because I'm just thinking about the next thing that I have to do. But in the beginning, I went with one of my friends on a bunch of like early night kind of like walks where we would just walk and talk, and it was really refreshing and it was really nice, especially when you don't really know the campus that well, just being able to be like more comfortable with the space that way. So I really liked it. I don't walk as much with purpose as Ellen does, but I do have to say that I walk relatively fast.
I do see Alyssa walking around campus or leaving Clark, and sometimes you look like you are walking with a purpose too.
Maybe that's just because I'm trying to be early to class, or I've timed it and I know how long it takes me to get to class, but I still get nervous every single time that I'm going to be late.
You're just like, I need to get there at least 5 minutes early.
No, that's me.
I think that's me too. Look at us. 2024 Our Story is published through Scripps Communities of Resources and Empowerment. This episode was edited by Ellen Hu, and Instagram graphics are designed by Alyssa Wend. Callie is courtesy of Wadaboy on Pixabay. If you were interested in joining us on an episode, please fill out the Google form available in our link tree. You can find that link, as well as more content, on our Instagram page at 2024 Our Story Podcast. Also be sure to check out SCORE's upcoming event on Friday, October 1st, where we'll be screening Kiki's Delivery Service at the SCORE office. that's everything we have for you today. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time. Bye!